Welcome, my beautiful souls. Today, we're stepping into what I call a sacred space where the veil is thin. Before us lies the cards. Each one is going to be a mirror to your soul, a message from the unseen. So take a deep breath, quiet your mind, and let your intuition guide you as you decide whether you're going to choose. This is a pick a card, by the way. Whether you're going to choose reading one, reading two, or reading three, or for some, all three may, you may see all three in your mind's eye. So, no matter what you choose or whatever you are drawn to, just know that there's a personal message for you. And I feel like it's exactly what your spirit needs to hear right now. So let's begin and see what the cosmos have in store for us. And by the way, I brought out the magician to represent 2026 for us because I just have a feeling, of course, it's going to move into um, January. You know what I mean? Because we're already in December. So, and I often feel these are timeless. So, again, just quiet our mind, let our intuition open, let your mind's eye choose one, two, or three. And if you're uncertain, I feel like someone is out there saying, I don't know. All three may resonate with you. I often feel at the end of these pick a card readings, it tells one big story. So I don't feel like you can go wrong. Okay, let's go ahead and let's put two and three up here. And let's start with number one. And we'll bring the lid down. I guess I could have said pick it by a crystal also. Um, but okay. So, these are really one of my favorite readings to do. Um, they're not really a trending type reading, but I still love doing them. I feel like we can get a lot of messages within a pick a card reading. Pick a reading, actually. All right, let's begin. Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, and I hope you trust me, that the decks that I use, I pre-shuffle them and then I shuffle them. And I only take what comes face down. I don't want to know what's in the reading. I want my intuition to decipher it as we go. So when I tell you I had no clues this was in your reading, I had no clue. Love begins, the Ace of Cups. What a way to open this reading. Also, a number one, the Magician. Number one, we have Wisdom. This is the Hierophant. Card of Taurus. It is a five. We talk about changes. This person's looking at this house. I almost feel like he wants to go to this house and give, like, good word. It kind of feels like deja vu all of a sudden. Like some of you may have a moment of deja vu. And it may not be over like a home, but it's something. Something. So the Hierophant does have messages with it. And really why it's changed, because it wants you to make sure that you're living your life according to your morals, your standards. And then anyone who comes into your life, that they also have, it doesn't have to be matching, but let's just say same vibrational energy. Some of you might have just gone through a change. You may not even know about this love yet. Interesting. The Four of Cups. Well, this is discontentment and boredom in one's emotional world. I'm not satisfied. Something's not right. Something doesn't feel good. I don't feel good. But in the Four of Cups, there is a cup coming in, and we literally have the cup. I feel like because this person's their back is to the world, and I feel like it feels to me like someone's been in some reflection, like saying to themselves, I'm not really happy here. I don't feel emotionally fulfilled. What do I need to do? What changes do I need to make? And I say that because of the five. The five, interesting, because the five and the four is a nine. We're in the last ninth year of a 9-year cycle. I bet you guys can't wait till I don't have to say that anymore. But then even add that up, 9 plus 1, 10. Bring that to a singular digit, we're right back to the magician again. So I feel like something magical is going to happen here. But right now, this person's back is kind of to the world. And I do feel this sense of, you got to let yourself like get back into the world. Um, but it doesn't have to mean like I'm searching for love. I have a feeling like you don't have to. I have a feeling it's just coming to you. Will you accept it? Well, let's see what else we have. Okay. Oh my gosh, the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, excuse me 1 second. I just got a knock on my door. Okay, did I just pause that? Yeah, we're moving. All right, sorry about that. Sam just knocked at the door. So anyways, the Knight of Pentacles. What a hell of a reading this is. Um, you know, the Knight of Pentacles tells you that I bring something into your physical world, and I bring it at the right time, not before, not after. This can be a very slow moving night, but it moves slow with purpose. Literally, it doesn't come in until the timing is right. So when it comes in, you can trust it. And how beautiful it's coming under the Ace of Cups, where it literally says in this deck, love begins. Wow, there is no other energy other than God that I would want to usher in what feels like a new love at exactly the right time. I feel like there is a change, and I feel like the change may have to do with your energy. Like, I feel like this is something you can control. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some have disconnected, which is fine. It's okay to disconnect here and there. But we're moving into really a year that's going to call for action. And I feel like this should turn your head a little bit. This should turn your head a little bit. And I also want to say, why would the Knight of Pentacles be the one ushering in this Ace of Cups? Well, I feel like the Hierophant has a lot to do with that. Because this really is about, I feel like those who are here, I feel like your vibration is lifting. And it is through your own work, like your shadow work, the reflection over your life, understanding who you are and who you've become. And do you like that? Do you like that? Are there any changes that you want to make? This gives you the power to make those changes. Because I'm telling you, it's not that I feel like you need to be ready, because this night literally does not come in until you are ready. But maybe why I'm saying that is because the sooner you're ready, I have a feeling the sooner this comes in. Let's continue. Interesting. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. My risk taker, but not here. You know, I feel like what this is saying, for those who want love in their life, but not just any love, right? You want a love that is going to last the rest of your lives. That's what I feel like. And I feel like the importance of our morals being similar and that we have similar goals in mind, like how we want our life to be. Like, I want to live good life. You know what I mean? And I do feel it's important. And I feel like this is about like minded energy. But I feel like for some of you, like, I just don't feel like like, I'm not in the mood to take a chance, Sandy. That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm not in the mood. Okay, well, let's keep going. We have the Six of Wands, which is victory and success. And by the way, this is where other people are really looking up to you because of action steps you've taken. And it's interesting, it's coming under the Four of Cups, where, again, discontentment and boredom. However, I don't even know if I said this. In the Four of Cups, you can't see it in this image, which is kind of a bummer, but there is a cup coming in, and it literally is coming from the hand of divine. Well, what do I call the Knight of Pentacles all the time? Your guardian angel. So, this isn't any old love. I can tell you that. And it really is about using your spiritual discernment. Ultimately, it is it's you making the decision. How many cards? Oh, I know what I was going to do. I planned on doing 5 across. But let's do it this way instead. I'm thinking, how many cards did I? Well, what I did is I shuffled, and then whatever came out, I just shared them on the each separate deck, um, up to a point. So what did I take? I took 8. Look at this. Now there is a change of energy. There is a change of energy. Oh my God. And then the Ten of Pentacles. What an abundant reading this is. And the only thing that seems to hinder it at all is the Four of Cups. And why? It's not going to stop this cup from coming in. I know that. And even when I put the cards away, I just put them. We still have the Knight of Pentacles mirroring the Ace of Cups. But not only that, we now have the Ten of Pentacles. And I never feel you're alone in the Ten of Pentacles. I have a feeling we have some earth signs in this. And you don't have to be an earth sign. I just feel that. But let's go back because, I feel like, maybe what you've done is during this like reflective state, you're starting to realize that if I don't change my own energy, then everything will always remain the same. Different faces, but same experiences. Now, if I think about my energy, or another way of saying that is like even drawing lines in the sand. As your vibration lifts, don't lower it. Don't lower it to be with another. This may be singular energy. Some of you may have become single, but you're not hating it in this energy. This is really inner harmony, but it's also fulfillment of wishes. And it's almost like it's saying, when you find that inner harmony, well, your wishes start being granted. You know, you need to be in the right energy um, to receive this beauty, really. Like there is nothing negative here except potentially what had already happened. It already happened. And I simply feel like here I have someone who's a little afraid, or maybe really afraid, of taking a chance in love. Now, I feel like your guardian angel is saying there's a different way of looking at this, a different perspective that maybe you haven't thought about. When you reflect back, and this is probably why I'm noticing the nine and another nine, look back at a sense of how you have grown. Not like, woe is me, what is wrong with me, why do I keep ending up with the same type? Well, it is energy. We attract what we are. We attract the energy that we live in. So we raise our own within the universe naturally matches it. So, wow. The Ace of Cups, beautiful. But literally, it says love begins here. I feel like, what I would say is just consider, what is this asking for? What energy is it calling for from you? Because again, the inner harmony. Now, does this ace come in before you find this inner harmony? I don't think so. I feel like it's the other way around. And it doesn't mean like I'm like, oh, my life is perfect. No, but you're finding enough things. You're looking at your life with a different lens. And even the Six of Wands before that, right? These are your action steps. These are the things that you've been through, that you have overcome. This is why this is victory. This is victorious energy. But listen, I feel like it's even victorious in your money. A lot of people ask, what is a soul's purpose? What's my soul's purpose? And I feel our soul purpose is to help others, especially if we've been where they've been. And I'm saying that because I feel some of you, that's what you do, or that's what you will be doing. So again, spirit's like, a different perspective, my dear, a different perspective. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be woe is me. Instead, look at how you have grown, what you have overcome. Stick with your morals. Your morals are right, and don't change them for another. That is your free will. That's your free will. But I see no need to do that. Quite the opposite. This page in reverse, you know, again, another perspective, because this is what I call this page my risk taker, or like my fool. Um, because this person takes chances, and they know that not all of them are going to pay off, but they get back up again. And I was going to say they get on the horse again, and literally that's sitting right next to it, horse, but it's coming in victorious energy. Some of you may start a whole new career also, you know? And I feel like this reading is about your perspective. and how you can change that perspective, which can change your life. Because I feel like you can take this wisdom of your experiences and potentially create from that. Because the Six of Wands means other people are reaching out. They want to know, how did you succeed? And I feel like, except for this page in reverse, easily I share that. And then the Ten of Pentacles. Well, remember, you add this ace to this nine, we have the 10. So you're not alone in that Ten of Pentacles. All right. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, if I was going to use clarifiers, but I'm only going to take a couple. And I'm going to take it right over the spread. I'm going to give them a cut. And just anything else that we need to know. Huh. Hello, Ten of Cups. So, wow. Not only the Ten of Pentacles, now the Ten of Cups. That is love. That is harmony. You know, this is the house of abundance, the Ten of Pentacles. This is the house of love and harmony. Put them together. Wow. Now, does that make you want to maybe look at life with a different perspective? Some are like, no, but some will say yes. You know, for some of you, like, you have someone special in spirit who I'm telling you, like, they want you happy, happy. And they're doing everything they can, you know, and you may not think that's possible. Like the guitar that's in this frame, it's in my room. You know, it came from my son who was crossed over. But someone, a psychic wrote me, well, I say psychic, but she's soul sister, um, wrote me a message right before that and said, your son's about to move mountains for you. Okay. Why do you know? Okay. And then within a half an hour, Sam walks in my room. He's got that guitar in his hand. He's like, it was just sitting against the Salvation Army box. It is the same guitar my son had. Even the frets, the wearing on the frets, like, are so similar. So when I say your spirit guides can move mountains for you, I'm not kidding. All right, we have the devil. Okay, so the devil, card Capricorn. And it may just be Capricorn for some of you. Or you may be a Capricorn, because I definitely feel I have earth signs in here. But that's not all, you know. But I do feel you earth signs. So this, if it's not a Capricorn for you, then this can speak about temptations. You know, and this may be something you want to ask yourself too, like, have you been tempted to the same type of energy over and over again? A different face, but the same result. And if you say yes, then your guides would say you have to look at your own energy. You have to look at your own energy, because when you work on you, it naturally lifts your vibration. And when you naturally lift your vibration, well, the world naturally lifts with you. But that doesn't guarantee us, right? That, let's just say, things that tempt us in the shadows won't come back. They may come back, but because you are now living with a different perspective, knowing what you deserve, and understanding that for some, this has been a repeat pattern that you can break. Like you have that power. Some may say, is this someone of my past who did not treat me so well? I would say, is that what you want? And some are going to say yes, and that's free will. That's free will. The Five of Wands, and then the Six of Wands. Okay, I'll tell you why I feel like some of you feel a little stuck. I feel like someone hurt you and never apologized for it. Someone treated you badly and never took, what's the word I want to say? You never took accountability. Some of you were dealing with someone who had a lot of ego. Not only ego, but I have a feeling it was probably very charming until they weren't. You know what I mean? Like they charmed you, and then that charm stopped. But you weren't the first one, and you won't be the last one. And what I mean by that is someone like this, it's almost impossible to have a lifetime with. And if I choose to have a lifetime with this person or this energy, then I have to know what I'm signing up for. And do I think that's what your guides want? No. No, the opposite. But you have to decide that. So, long story short, I see the beautiful blessings like just waiting. But I feel like this is more about the understanding, the different perspectives that I can take. And with the different perspective, I feel you make different choices. And I have a feeling with these different choices bring different beginnings to turn into what feels like a beautiful ending. But what would your guide say? Don't worry about where you end up. Worry about the journey. It's all about the journey. We don't know how much time we have on this life, in this lifetime. How much of it do I want to give it away? Like, how much time do I want to give someone? Or do I want someone just to fall in love with me? Okay. I feel like I'm going overboard now. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to talk you into something, and that is not my job. I know that. But boy, I hope you see what is here. I hope you see it. And I feel like if we turn this page around and we take a chance, and again, when you take a chance, it doesn't mean like look at it a different way. Like, okay, here's this Ace of Cups. It's coming in. No matter what, it's coming in. And if I look at it with the perspective of, I'm just going to take a step into it and I'm going to let it just unfold naturally. And as it does that, I'll be able to read the energy. But if you don't take a chance, then you don't. I don't know what else to say. Okay, I'm going to pick this one up. What a way to start. What a way to start. All right. Let me grab a drink real quick. Dos. Number two. Wow. Passion ignited. And look at that. A one again. The magician. A one. You know, it's interesting because I just got done doing a podcast where I did break down Universal Year One again, but not long. But what I did is um, I added like each personal year. Like, so if you're going to have a personal year one next year, in 2026, I broke it down for you. And then two, three, I went through I did it with the personal year numbers, not the life path numbers, just so you know that. But look at that. The one and the one, 11, make a wish. Passion ignited. And that means that it's also an energy of action. So something's going to ignite. Here is her heart chakra, and it feels good. Sacrifice. Interesting. Hello. Nine of Cups. So here it tells you fulfillment of wishes. But don't forget, it is inner harmony also. Oh my gosh. Palace of Cups. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did it right. The Three of Cups. Reason to celebrate. Hello, sun. Beautiful. Oh, Six of Cups. Nostalgia. Nostalgia. Okay. So first of all, let's look at what's mirroring each other. The Ace of Wands is mirroring the Palace of Cups. I feel like the Palace I should have told you what decks I'm using. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams. This is the Tarot of Dreams. And then I'm using the Psychic Tarot. And then the Universal Tarot. Okay. So, what I was going to say is in the Tarot of Dreams, I feel like the Palace of Cups is the ultimate goal. Like, who wouldn't want to end up in the Palace of Cups? But maybe this is just the beginning. It's interesting that we have sacrifice here. And I'll tell you what I feel. I feel like there was someone back in the day, and I feel like there was chemistry. There was definitely chemistry. I don't really feel like you were together, but I definitely feel like you were friends or you went to school together. And it may have been like they had a crush on you or you had a crush on them, or maybe you both had crushes on each other, but I don't feel like anyone said it. I don't feel like anyone said it. And the sun here is here to illuminate really everything. And it is like the promise of a brand new day. It's coming under the energy of sacrifice, which, is interesting because it's two Leo cards. So, some of you, maybe Leo. And if you notice, I'm trying not to really give signs because I don't want you to fixate on, like, oh, okay, it's going to be that sign. And the reason why I do that is we all have a little bit of everything. But anyways, So you have the sun right next to the Three of Cups, which talks about a reason to celebrate. I have a feeling that either you are going to reach out to someone of the past or someone of the past is going to reach out to you. And by the way, December, it certainly brings back people. It just does. Not everyone. I don't see anything here that makes me feel sad. I don't feel like whoever this reading is for, I don't feel like you feel like you're in any type of desperate energy. Um, Quite the opposite, to be honest. Quite the opposite. I feel like the person here or the people here, I feel like you already have this inner harmony. And the sacrifice, I feel like it's the situation back in the day. I feel like something, for some reason, well, it probably wasn't its divine time. And because your heart chakra is being activated now, this is probably its divine time. It's so interesting because Sam and I are going to do a podcast tonight. Um, and we're answering your questions, about our relationship. And I'm only doing it because so many of you asked me to. Um, so we're going to do it tonight and hopefully release it tomorrow. But anyways, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is he was someone from my past. Now we did date, but for like only a year, and then we each went our own separate ways, and that was that until 40 years later, my phone rang. And I'm saying that because I feel similar situations, similar type energy. I feel like we couldn't be together then for whatever the reason, and we'll try to clarify that. I don't know if that's the important part. I feel like the important part is this may be a reconnection. So, this Palace of Cups, it may be my dream, but this may be a dream becoming reality. Let's just say you're going to celebrate this energy. And the sun being there, well, that makes so much sense. The sun next to the Six of Cups, they both speak about um, playful type energy. They both remind me of like hometown energy, where I grew up, that type of thing. So it makes sense. 6 and the 3 mirroring each other. There's our 9. I feel like we can't get away from the 9, but nor should we try because this 9, we do want to give that final reflection. So when we go into 2026, year 1, clean slate. Doesn't mean everything is going perfect in my life. Just means I know what I'm willing to take into this next year. Because remember, whatever you take into the next year will be there for the next 9 years. Whether that, and then as I said that, I'm thinking, well, some are like, well, okay, my mind's going to a different place, and I don't want to go down that road. So, anyways, all right, let's bring out the crystal vision. It's almost like we've taken reading one person in reading one, turned that page around, and now is in this inner harmony. The 10 of Wands. Well, That's probably a little bit of the sacrifice. Ten of Wands can speak about a period of time. Look at that, the Six of Cups again. Wow, okay, synchronicities. But real quick, the Ten of Wands, can speak about a period of time of heavy responsibilities. Some of you, I just get this feeling like some of you, your kids are not little anymore. And I feel like you're finding more free time to reinvest in you. I don't feel like I'm reinvesting in love. I'm just reinvesting in myself because I feel like that period is coming to an end. And I have a feeling something back in the day, um, I just feel like something back in the day did stop. And it was probably divine. But again, it's like the heart chakra is activated, but it wasn't its divine timing. The heart chakra part was, but the coming together doesn't feel like it was the right time. I was not going to take that many, but they all came face up. So we're going to take them. We have the Six of Swords. Look at that. 666. The Four of Pentacles. Some of you have a similar experience to me. And that is probably why I was telling my story again. Because some of you, I feel like you left your hometown, or some of you, this could have been where where you went to school. Let's just say it was a place when when you think about it, there are happy memories. It does feel like nostalgia. But I feel like you left. I feel like you changed homes. Three of Wands, Seven of Cups. And look at this, the Nine of Pentacles. I'm saying look at this because we have the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. And I feel like we have these nines, I feel like are two different people. And I feel like it's the path that we chose. And I feel both seem successful. It doesn't mean I'm rich, though you could be. I definitely feel, um, again, that something moves you. Well, you moved yourself away from what feels like a hometown. And it may be so you could pursue, you know, could be schooling, a better job market. But here's the thing. Then comes out the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is you making a decision, an emotional decision. It also means a cup, right? Seven of Cups means a cup has come in. What do I do? What do I do? Number one, because I feel like there has been so much time between then and now, what do? I feel like take the cup and get to know each other again. That's what Sam and I had to do. We knew each other as teenagers, but not as adults. And I feel like the Seven of Cups is like that butterfly type energy. Like, holy shit, it's actually happening. Because I know some of you don't believe until it actually happens, which I guess is fine. It doesn't seem to be like any strife. I mean, normal issues. But I literally feel like two people who potentially had crushes on each other, or at least one had a crush. Let's say one they had a crush on you. Maybe you were unaware of it. Um, and I want to say, I feel like one of you, like, I feel the home life was not easy. And that may have been something that drew two people together, like, like I didn't have an easy home life and they didn't have an easy home life. I I don't feel, and I could be wrong, but I don't feel like you connected in a loving, well, when I say loving, I mean romantic way. Um, but if you did, I don't feel like it was for a long period of time because I feel like you left. You left. And I don't feel like you left like in a fit of anger or anything like that. I feel like, or it could be the other way around. I feel like whoever left, it was either to pursue more schooling or for better chances as it relates to, a career, money. I feel like also it feels like there's nothing to worry about with this person. I feel like this person is single. I feel like they're independent, probably spiritual. And that doesn't mean they go around talking spiritual. You know what I mean? Like spiritual lingo. Maybe. But I have a feeling I do feel, they're either natural healers or they're healing to your soul and you to theirs. So I feel like the story is, for whatever reason, we couldn't be together then, but don't look at it in a negative light because I feel like your heart chakra is activated. And why? To keep this person in your mind, in your heart. And even if they're not in, like, on the front burner, so to speak, well, they're still in the back burner. This may be someone you start thinking about out of the blue. And why would that happen? Because they're thinking about you. So, okay, I'm going to let that be. Um, just let me say, this reading feels like there is nothing to fear. This is about joy. This is about fulfillment. This is about passion. And ultimately, will you end up in the Palace of Cups together? I feel you will. I feel that this is reachable. And I feel you will reach it. But again, let's start at the one and let's let it unfold. And let's let the romance just kind of take us away. Take me away, romance. A song just popped in my head, but I can't think of who who it is. Hey, take me. I can't even think of it. All right, take a moment. My chair is so loud. All right, number three. You ready? I was wondering what was cutting my circulation up. All right. Hmm. Trapped in fear. This is the Eight of Swords. Look at that. The Four of Swords right next to it. Beautiful. The Sun. called light in this deck. It is like the light is seeping back in. It's like I have been in shadow. I have been in sadness. I don't know what to do. My mind can't think straight. And I do know it has to do with something of the past. But I have a feeling it's asking you to allow yourself to have a new beginning, to allow those thoughts to heal. The sun is your illuminator. It'll let you know, like if you have a self created prison, maybe you don't know it. So it will illuminate it. Why? So that it can be healed. There's probably a reason why. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles. I feel like we have an extra card here. We have the Three of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles. Look at this, the Hermit. Card of Virgo, card of Leo right there. And then the Ten of Swords. Okay. Well, now we know why the Eight of Swords is there. Now we know. You know, right off the bat, I kind of know what this is saying. Because the Eight of Swords, again, that self-created prison. And because it's self-created, you are the only one who can uncreate it. I feel like it has to do with your thoughts, the way you're thinking. And I know why. It's Ten of Swords. But I want to tell you also, the Ten of Swords, to me, is a repeat pattern. This may be someone I've given multiple chances to. But the daggers keep ending up in me. This can turn into submissive energy, which means you may just stay in it. And the reason why someone would stay, because they may have a fear of the unknown. But here is the sun to help light your way. It's like if you uncreate this prison, and I feel like the Page of Pentacles is also a good reminder, mirroring this Eight of Swords, that we really are in a classroom. That's what Earth is, right? We're learning as souls. Like there's agreements that our souls made before we came into this lifetime. And some of them are hard. But listen, that's because you have a strong soul. You know, those who have no lessons in this life, oh, they'll be back. They'll be back, and those lessons will come. But some choose to get those lessons in this lifetime. I feel like I did. You know what I mean? Like, give me the hard lessons this lifetime. Let me clear karma. So I can make the choice of whether I want to reincarnate or not. The Hermit's here. This is about your spiritual wisdom. This is going through the dark night of the soul, but it's about coming out the other end. And it's your spirituality that really does save the day. And maybe just realizing that you're not just this human being, you're a spiritual being having human experiences. And what I would also say, if you look at it like this is how I look at it. I feel like when we leave this lifetime and we cross over, many of us are going to be teachers to younger souls, souls who have not incarnated yet. And they're going to have questions. What's it like? Do you want to tell this beautiful young soul? Oh, it's hell. It's hell. You meet someone, and all they do is put daggers in your back over and over, and that's how I spent my life. Or do you want to say, warning, but you'll be able to see this? You'll be able to read that energy, especially if you've been through it. And I also get this sense that for some of you, as you were going through what feels like a difficult time, maybe some of you like really went into hermit mode, like, like stayed at home, stayed to yourself, solitude type energy. But I have a feeling if that's the case, that you started receiving like epiphanies, like creative ideas. Um, and I feel like just as your soul wanted. Now, I also want to say with the Three of Pentacles here, it talks about your individuality. And you want to be proud of that. Well, I guess it depends where you're at in life. You know what I mean? But what I mean by that is what your spirit guides are saying is there is no one else like you. You were made exactly as you were meant to be. That means there really is nothing you can't overcome. You just have to tell yourself that. You have to believe that. But then you do have to put action steps in. I feel like some of you, this was a karmic lesson. And here is an opportunity to clear that karma for the rest of your lives, for eternity, for eternity. I even love the hermit looking back at the Three of Pentacles, like creating something spiritual out of nothing. The Six of Pentacles under the Eight of Swords can give us a clue also of what happened. Like, this is about giving and receiving, and it is unbalanced. So, chances are, who's ever in this Eight of Swords was the giver, and whoever put these daggers in you was the receiver, but not the giver. You can see this person, like their face up. They know another dagger is going to come. Why wouldn't it? One came before, and before, and before, and before. But I feel like this is one person. Now, if it's multiple people, then you do want to check your own energy. And I hope that didn't sound mean. Um, but we do have to know where our energy is at. Okay, let's bring out the crystal vision. This reading looks like, oh, maybe there's no hope, that type of thing, but it's really the opposite because it's telling you this is an opportunity to learn from your past. So you do better. When you know better, you do better. This is an opportunity to learn energy. So if those with lower vibration try to come into your life again, you know better. Some of you, without this energy, you may not have started a creative business, a spiritual business. You may not have invested within your creativity, where I feel like it's exactly what it was calling for. I wouldn't be surprised if this solitude was part of the soul's quest. Even this lesson. And I know people don't like it when I say that, but that's what our souls are here for. These lessons. But the Page of Pentacles says you can learn this, right? This is a learning experience, and life can and will get better once you yourself find balance. Okay, a card flew off the table. Look at that. Something has come to completion. And something new is now opening up. Well, I know what I want to come to completion, and that is the person who is in the Eight of Swords. I want them to free themselves. I want them to free their energy. I want them to take the blindfolds off. And I want them to let the sun in. Lift up those blinds. Open up those curtains and let the sun come in. The world is a promise of all that can be, but it starts with the completion of what was. Wow. I want the Ten of Swords to end. But I have a feeling who's ever giving these swords, it's not that they're going to stop. It's that you're not taking it anymore. And you are healing. The sun, it's going to find you. It's going to reach behind any blindfold. All right, I want to follow that a little bit more. By the way, the world, 21, which 21 is a karmic number, but also it goes down to a 3, to a singular digit, joy, gratitude. Look at this, the sun again. The sun connected right to this next chapter. And by the way, I just realized the world is over the Four of Swords, which is where you're healing. And then the sun is right beside that, but now we also have the sun right over it. Again, we have double Leo. Holy cow. Okay, we're not taking all these. All right. The Hierophant. Card of Taurus. But boy, do I feel like it is asking you, check your moral. It's not your morals. I feel like you have high morals, but I feel like someone, and it's either karmic or free will. So here you are making the change. We have the King of Pentacles. Well, I did feel Earth everywhere. And then look at this. Wow, my screen just went so dark. What's up with that? All right, screen, come back. Anyways, Four of Wands, my favorite love card. This is true love. This is true commitment. This man is literally putting this woman on a pedestal. And she would do the same for him. Let me tell you about the King of Pentacles, because he is in the upright. Because this might be what's on some's mind. Like, how do I know that the next person I'm with will be loyal, will be steady, will be someone I can count on? Well, if you free yourself, especially from those limited thoughts, the thoughts that tell you that you're not worthy, those are someone else's words. They're not divine words, and they're not your words. They came from somewhere else. It's interesting. I never try to make a reading anything other than what it wants to be. But boy, love likes to come out a lot. This is so different. This is so different. So very different. I feel like there's a simple message here. You have to know what it is you truly want and ask yourself why. Why do I like, let's say you can't get away from whoever keeps putting these daggers in you. Ask yourself why. Ask your guides to send you clarity. I know many of you get messages in these readings, but the truth is, I feel like it comes from a place where I myself, for whatever reason, don't feel worthy. But again, that's because other people made you feel that way. It's not the truth. It just isn't. And you deserve the highest form of love and the highest form of life, just like anybody else. But in the Eight of Swords, until you uncreate that, you're kind of stuck there. So free yourself. Allow the healing process to start taking place. And I feel like just watch what happens. If you look at this from a different perspective, this is what I'm learning. This is the growth my soul was asking for. And now I know that. I free myself. And boy, does the universe show me the most beautiful blessings that I never knew existed. That's how divine works. You do your part, they do their part. We co create together. How do I love? You have true commitment, true love, connected not only to the Hierophant, but also the sun, the world, that King of Pentacles, the one I would call the most loyal king, the most steady king. Doesn't mean the other kings aren't, but it's important to this person. So I'm going to let that be because I feel like I can't, it's, like, I don't feel like your guides want me to try to talk you out of anything. I feel like they just want me to present it to you so you can then make your own decisions. I don't know why my screen is still so dark, but so I'm going to let these be. I love you guys. I thank you. And by the way, again, if all three make sense to you, then all three are yours. Don't worry about that. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.